And we're back. Look at that. Look at that. I did it. I did it. I did the thing. Okay. So now that I have at long last figured out, actually I didn't figure out. I just restarted everything until it worked. So, uh, now that I've chased away the only person who was watching this while I was fumbling around for 13 minutes and change trying to make the screen share work when it should have, we will begin. So what we're looking at here is Northwest Liberty News picking the lock on the shackles of tyranny. And we're just gonna go ahead and open up the solution series in another tab. These are just my tabs. The next part of my childhood stories series that's been like 2 months now in the coming, just because it's difficult, and my my brain has been at capacity dealing with the trial and emotional effects, so that fell by the wayside, unfortunately. I'm just going to take a look over here at taking a look at the linked website here. This is the face of Sheriff Mack. Just in case you had ever forgotten. Scrolling down these portrait shots of terrible, terrible people. Oh, Food Forest. So I dislike the shade thrown at lab-grown meat and gene-edited produce, but I am so fucking down with these first couple of sentences. We got 44 million acres of lawn in the United States. The lawn is the foundation of enslavement and the biggest mass brainwashing scam in the world, as it takes more resources and chemicals than any other crop, and it does not provide food. Yeah, fuck yeah, Jim Gale. You know what? I take it back. These are mostly bad people. I'm sure Jim Gale has some abhorrent political views, but goddamn fuck is he not right about lawns. What he misses, though, is the socioeconomic and material analysis portion of the terror that is the lawn. That the lawn is part of the downsizing and encapsulation of, yeah, we'll deal with that in a second, of the lifestyle of the feudal nobility and the aristocracy, and the trappings of old money, where a manor in early modern Europe having a manicured lawn was a status symbol to show that you had arable land that you could afford to not have growing any food or cash crops. And then, post war America, we get the suburbs, another terrible mistake. terrible, terrible mistake, meant to suppress the spread of socialism. And I quote, "Man with his own lot and house and car cannot possibly be a communist. He has too much to do. It's the suburb and the commute is isolating. It granulates communities. You know your coworkers better than you know your neighbors of many years. It reinforces the nuclear family, which is a artificial and unnatural structure imposed on humanity by modern American and modern Western society. And the lawn is just a symptom of that. So let's go ahead and scroll through just 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. weekday broadcast. So people who like this shit, oh my god, there's words cut off at the top. What is at the top? I'm sorry, let's do a comparison. The fucking name of their website in their fancy font is cropped out of their banner on their website. By the date, the fucking date hang down. So they have to do it as an overlay to the left here that impinges on their banner instead of having an invisible button that leads back to the home screen over their fancy logo with the font. And then this is just the same ass banner image, probably as one that they use for advertising. So the tagline and website at the bottom is simply cut out by being layered over with the web navigation toolbar. That's amazing. Oh, I just accidentally opened up freaking OneDrive. I don't care about that. Is parental alienation a fentanyl? Is Stuart Rhodes a business as usual election fraud? Oh my god. Oh, they have him in his little suit and his little headphones. He looks like somebody playing Tim Pool in the Hollywood, like the Hallmark original movie version of his life 10 years from now when he's universally remembered as a supervillain. So this is what we're mostly talking about today. Villain or political prisoner? Villain. The answer is villain. Not victim, not political prisoner. World's best fucking photo editing job. More Biden lies. So there was one guy that was an Oath Keepers member who reportedly tried to protect a plainclothes cop from being attacked by rioters. But, you know, when you look at the first seconds of the Capitol riot starting to turn ugly, there's that one fucking dude with the MAGA hat. He looks like he wrestled in high school, and he flips his MAGA hat around, makes it backwards to show that it's serious business time, and that's when he starts like grabbing the barricade and pushing it on the cops. And then when he sees cops starting to get trampled, he drags the trampled Capitol Police officers to safety because he realizes, oh, this is a really serious situation. These people could be hurt. And, you know, that's not entirely out of the realm of possibility there. We're going to open up also, because I am just so easily distractible. We're going to open up Patriots Bounty and see what this is all about. Pepperidge Farm remembers. If you're like me, you miss the America we grew up in, an America where you knew your neighbors, their children, even their pets. We were just talking about that. That's the fault of capitalism. In America, where kids could stay out until the streetlights came on without fear of harm when, Your kids are safer wandering around on the streets now than they have been at any point. It's better than it was. People are more aware of the crimes that happen. Before, children died all the time, and just nobody knew. In America, we were free to choose what went into our bodies, and our medical information was kept private. I'm assuming that's some kind of vaccine bullshit. I wasn't aware of forced vaccinations or HIPAA violations. In America, a person's word was their bond, and where the rights of each and every man and woman were protected. We've never had that last part. Never had either of those last part. We're working our way to the pitch. The America described here seems long past or fictional, but those with the will and the wits can help bring America back once again to her former greatness. Yes, yes. How should I help this process? By giving you money. However, to do that, we need to first change our mindset from honoring international global enterprise to honoring American companies. Yes, Mocha. Yes, Mocha. Yes. What is it? You just doing that? Cool. And products produced by your neighbors from within our blessed nation. Yes. I don't think there's anything going on. I think you're just a baby. I think you're just baby. Don't look at me like you're disappointed in me, like I'm the problem. She's not even at a window. She's just lying on the middle of the floor, growling upwards. Okay, now we're getting to the sales pitch. Each and every day, millions of dollars are spent at major retail stores for what is essentially bottles and bars of toxic chemicals filled with 90% run-on sentences. Many of these very same stores are part of a global network of corporations whose interests lie offshore and who do not put America first. That has to stop, and the time to act is now. That is not a factually incorrect statement. One way to fight globalism is to shop outside the big box stores and shop locally to buy products made in America. I wonder where these high-quality products can be found. I have found the perfect company, and I shop there all the time. So this is the website for the company, but they're acting like it's a testimonial newsletter written by a third party. The company is the manufacturer and the store. They have the highest quality, non-toxic products at the best prices. They ship to your front door and they put America first. Link below to learn more. Oh, it's the same fucking dude. It's the same guy. It's the same guy that I was mad about. It's the same guy that this dude tried to get into a Twitter argument with me like 45 minutes ago. Yelling about groomers. He runs this bullshit over here. And apparently also this bullshit. So everything in the advertisements is him. Everything in the advertisements is him. He's on Variety on TV. Oh, how am I going to clean my blood? And Liberty Links. I wonder if I can get a bunch of hostile reply guys on my shit to create arguments and content by building a Liberty Links profile for myself. No! No, do not access my location. I'm glad I have decent internet security. Holy shit. Say hello to Trim Rocks. Protozomed. Okay, we're going to navigate away from this page. I'm going to look up... Okay, yeah. Liberty Links. Critical Disclosure, radio, Facebook, Telegram, Brighteon, BitChute, Telegram, Northwest Liberty News, Blog Talk, Gab, Rumble, Facebook. Oh, this is the face. Yes, Mocha, I agree. This is the face. I feel pretty comfortable mocking him physically. Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable mocking him physically. I don't know. Just keep looking into those beady little fucking eyes. And that doughboy face. And I just feel gradually dumber as I feel closer to Jim's links. Anyway, libertylinks.io. Let's see. Together. Ethereum. Let's see if I can create a Liberty Links account. After the demo, I'm not verifying it. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, no, we're not gonna fuck around with that anymore. Before we move on, I have to Google what protozoned is. Come on, garbage internet, work with me. No results whatsoever. Results. Holy shit. No results whatsoever. Protozoned is not a word. But, I should be fine, but I feel like that, I feel like the Protovite... I feel like the Protovite website is, a plague rat. A nasty little plague rat with nasty little teeth, so I wouldn't recommend anybody go to that because it looks super fucking suspicious. Okay, I finally found a web page for the website there, and it's a debunking on a science-based medicine website. So if you want to look up anything, look up that. Okay, so we're going to start out here on this actual article with a banger of an opening sentence. According to the Epoch Times, at the DOJ's request, a federal court is keeping under wraps an FBI affidavit that completely undermines the regime's seditious conspiracy case against the Patriot Group Oath Keepers, which shows that members are not guilty and proves that the prosecution is lying to the jury, said an attorney for members of the group last week. Jonathan Mosley. He's not an attorney for the group. He's actually been specifically court-ordered. Let's see how old the Natural News article is. For one thing, what's the date on this bitch? 1 month ago. So Jonathan Mosley was already disbarred at this point. So there should have been, in the interests of journalistic integrity, there should have been a note here that Jonathan Mosley is disbarred, no longer an attorney for the group, specifically court-ordered against, like, you cannot file any more legal briefs in the Oath Keeper sedition case. Go away. And he's been an on-again, off-again reply guy on Oath Keepers related anything, and just all up in the business of the Capitol Terrorist Exposer and investigation people, and is a serious alcoholic. I mean, yeah, it does say in the next paragraph that he had his license to practice law revoked, but calling him an attorney for members of the group is still incredibly disingenuous. And that it should mention that he was specifically court-ordered against. Oh, is that it? Oh, it's just that link to the Natural News article. So this is an empty news aggregator, and then a oh no, there's a whole bunch more. Science news on Natural News defending life, health, and liberty. Oh shit. Fucking Vax Wolverine is coming to sextuple jab your ass. So, it's literally nothing but vaccine denial. And FTX. Funny coincidence. I got a fucking fortune cookie from a local Chinese buffet that had an advertisement for FTX on the back of it. So I wonder how much longer, like, you're gonna still be seeing that. And then out of all this bullshit, there is just one legitimate takedown of Elizabeth Holmes, probably because she's a woman. I'm just gonna say it. I know we keep getting distracted, fair viewers. We keep getting distracted and going off task, but oh dear, oh fuck. Ow. Clicking away from that sends me all the way back to the top. Fuck you too. It has long been common knowledge that there's been some cases of myocarditis as a side effect of the vaccine that's temporary and passes. And that is almost always from accidentally injecting that shit into a vein because it's supposed to be intramuscular. So that's been an admitted, watched for and monitored. So, see, this is something I really like. For one thing, that's a really shitty Photoshop. But for another, very often, right-wing fiction and right-wing media, and again, that fucking Brighteon.com again, has issues with portraying the police and military as bad guys to be fought against. Who is this guy that got to pose this badass for this cover shot? Um, so they have like mysterious mercenary groups or foreign auxiliaries, usually from the European Union or Russia, back when Russia was a bad guy, who would step in to enforce for the New World Order. Private paramilitary organizations under the command of the EPA were a popular scapegoat in old school right wing fiction that ended with militia victory. And then we have the World Health Organization's Riot Cop division with their weirdly short, squared-off shields. So let's stop getting distracted so we can get distracted. Today we bring you a truly bombshell interview and critical story. Treaty expert Dr. Francis Boyle. Who the fuck is Dr. Francis Boyle? Where does he get his treaty expertise? Probably revealing myself as terribly out of the loop. For not already knowing who this dude is. Oh. Okay, so I'm looking at his Wikipedia article, and that seems really sad. So, I had a bunch of based things to say about Bosnia and Palestine and Lebanon and the um, incubator murder lies that helped fuel the Iraq War fervor. And then published a letter blaming the United States for the New World Order, um, asking for a special prosecutor to issue orders demanding that the United States government be dissolved for its crimes against people of color, for its colonialism, apartheid, and um, declaring it a criminal conspiracy guilty of crimes against indigenous peoples, which I kind of like that. And then he did a COVID. China style medical police state. I've never heard of a medical police state. Communist run WHO. Fucking okay. Okay. I've eaten up like half of our allotted time with this rabbit hole. I can't click around this shit anymore. And man, for people claiming uh that January 6th was faked and everything, they sure have a hard time not trying to make everyone look fucking cool. Like, this picture has the fewest fat people and the fewest Confederate and Nazi flags. So here's the thing. Oath Keepers is a big-ass organization. And I don't think that guy was a member of Stack 1 or Stack 2. Those guys were on a mission. Fake Trump protesters. A few young men wearing Trump or MAGA hats backwards who did not fit in with the rest of the crowd in terms of their actions and demeanor, who I might presume to be Antifa or other leftist agitators. Call them organized, disciplined men wearing similar but not identical camouflage uniforms and black gears, some with helmets and GoPro cameras, or wearing subdued Punisher skull patches. That's the Oath Keepers. These guys are also Trump supporters. These guys are also Trump supporters. Those are all just fucking Trump supporters. Jesus fuck. Okay, so I guess there wasn't as much to that as I thought there was. So we're gonna go to Stewart's last interview as a free man, hopefully for the rest of his fucking life if he knows what's good for him. From Critical Disclosures. Oh, those sick, fucking sick royalty-free guitar licks. Oh, no, I can't even pretend to group to that. That's just not very good.
Much for joining us here today.
Oh my god.
Okay, this is Critical Disclosure Radio. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I am your host, James White.
If I knew that this was the guy I was arguing with, I wouldn't have bothered. I was trying to wrap my head around that. I wasted time replying to this guy on Twitter. You can look at the evidence yourself. You can go on Twitter right now and see that I replied to arguments this dude made and wasted my time. That I was the fool. Yep, it's all there. It's all there. The proof is there. I was a fool. I replied to this guy. This fucking Muppet. This pale, wrinkly Muppet. Good God.
And we are coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. We are waiting for Stewart Rhodes to be joining us here any moment on the line through Zoom. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
I was just in the same city as this fucking dude.
Of January 2022. And we do appreciate you tuning in here. We're delighted to be on Mike Adams, Natural News, actually the Brighteon Radio Network. Mike Adams of Natural News, who was actually my first guest on the show, and I think it went really, really well, and I really appreciated Mike.
His shirt blends in with their alt text, so you can't read it where it crosses over his body.
And again, delighted to be here on his show. So we are waiting once again for Stuart Rhodes, the founder of Oath Keepers, to come here. He's here, Keepers, and he has been a guest on the broadcast several times before. And
let's see. What do we got? Dingy wall. Grandma chair. This is somebody's back bedroom. Okay, moving on.
I have the names messed up here, so let me switch this around here to put his name under him and my name under me, and we'll be all squared away here in just a moment.
Click and drag, baby.
Former Army veteran Stuart Rhodes, founder of Oath Keepers, and been a guest many times. And what's probably little known is when I was doing Northwest Liberty News and I just started, Stuart Rhodes approached me and asked me to go down to the Bundy Ranch, sort of as a media guy down there, and get the whole situation that went on there with Clive Bundy and everything.
So I'm wondering if he also fucked this guy.
Quite a trip, quite an experience, and I've always appreciated Stuart giving me sort of a chance or a break, I guess, if you will.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And here is the man himself, Stuart Rhodes, founder of Oath Keepers. Can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jim. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here today with me on the broadcast.
Wow, what brand of mic are you rocking, oh father of mine?
Mike Adams Network here, and I appreciate you taking.
You sound like you're radioing in from a '90s toy on the far side of the moon.
Pardon me.
I've known Mike for a few years. Good man.
Yeah. He stated that he had interviewed you before. I don't know how many times you guys have interviewed, but I know he said that he's interviewed you before. Stu, if you can, Stu, let's just start off, just for some people that may be new to the Brighteon Network. I can't believe there's probably many people out there that haven't heard of Stuart Rhodes, but
Okay, and so I would just like to note the distinctive chin strap cut of somebody who is attempting to replicate with facial hair the jawline they have lost.
Just give us a little bit of background. I talked
kind
about
of that Guy Fieri look.
Can you just give us a little
without the charisma
background, Stu, just on yourself before we sort of to set things up here as we go forward?
Yeah, so I worked for I was a paratrooper in the Army. After I got out, I went to college, and then I worked for Ron Paul in his D.C. office. So I worked for Congressman Ron Paul from Texas, and that's where I'm at right now. As a matter of fact, I'm in Texas.
This is from his hiding out on the border, ready to run phase.
Campaigns, and it was pretty obvious that once Ron Paul had the nomination stolen from him, that the Republican Party was every bit as much of a problem as the Democratic Party. So we had basically a uniparty. And so I decided to focus on the men with the guns, the men who would be given the orders to violate people's rights. And that's when we started Oath Keepers. And I focused on military, police, but also other first responders.
Interesting contradiction from claiming that this came from Bush-era fears over the creeping police state, that this was the belief that Ron Paul not getting the Republican nomination in 2008 was proof of an irreconcilable slide towards totalitarianism.
And we see that now. We have a situation now because of all the COVID nonsense, where you've got unlawful orders being given to medical personnel as well. So I think I was pretty pressing on that. So we've been focused on that for.
Next week, I'm going to redo one of my episodes with the fucked up audio. I'm probably going to take those down so I can reuse the titles and then redo the content of those episodes, because nobody could hear me because my internet kept dropping out. And I go over Stuart's open letter to President Trump and state governors about COVID-19 from before his followers slapped his ass over it. And this is a complete 180 from that, let me tell you.
Now. And along the way, of course, we protected people against leftist violence in the street, especially since Trump's election. So starting in downtown Berkeley in 2017, we protected free speech events across the country. Thousands of times, actually.
I was going to bring that up here during the interview, Stu. I'm glad you did. we can bring it up now. This, we've talked about this pre-interview here. We've talked on the phone. We've been friends, I think, for several years now. I was just telling about how we went down to Bundy Ranch and that road trip and everything that happened down there.
2014, right?
Yeah, 2014. 2014. Matter of fact, I'm going to have Ammon Bundy on the broadcast tomorrow, and then James Wesley Rawls on Friday. So these are fellows that you know. You guys did it, the Oath Keepers. I do remember you going.
The fact that he's platforming Ammon Bundy means he's a bigger idiot than I thought. Ammon Bundy is a fucking lunatic. Ammon Bundy is a lunatic, and he was the laughingstock of the militia movement for years on end. Years on end.
Out and protecting people that were leaving the Trump rallies. I mean, they were getting, the crap kicked out of them. Some of these people that were leaving the rallies heading back to their car. And I know you saw the call and the need, and you stepped up, much like you did here in Kalispell. What people don't really know is when they were we were worried, I believe, Stuart, you can recap on this. I think we went to the recruiting centers because people were going in. At some point, they were.
Yeah, so I actually did armed security with Stuart outside of an Army recruiting center. That's one of our little father-son adventures. No, that was just a really dumb moment in the history of my childhood that I'd nearly forgotten about as I just hung around outside of a recruiting center, open carrying a pistol, and sitting on the bumper of a car for a million goddamn years with Stuart while he talked with the guys.
There was some wave of that.
There was an attack on a recruiting center in Tennessee.
Correct.
And after that, across the country, Oath Keepers stepped up, and because you weren't allowed, the recruiters were not allowed to carry guns, which is ridiculous. So, our volunteers stepped up across the country and stood outside the recruiting centers and protected them.
Stood in the gap, much like you did with the Trump rallies. You stood in the gap there and helped people out to help them get out to the vehicles. That being said, the January 6th thing, and we'll get to that in a minute. And of course, I know you've been subpoenaed, and we'll talk about that more. Are you troubled a little bit, Stuart, that with the work that you have done for the Trump campaign, I mean, it was visible. It's not, you weren't out there rabble-rousing or causing. You were doing just the opposite. You were protecting Trump supporters, or maybe not supporters, but people that were at least leaving the rallies. Did you feel like there was a little bit of an abandonment with the whole January 6th thing? Because I know there's several Oath Keepers have been incarcerated, and we'll talk about that later. Did you feel a little bit like, hey, what happened to Trump, man? We were there when he needed us, but when we needed him, he's not there now.
Well, that's the thing is, all of the people that are being unlawfully detained, denied bail, they're being abandoned by Trump. He's done nothing for them. He could donate money. He has done that. He didn't pardon anybody while he was still in office, and then when he left, he has to raise money. He could hold a fundraiser. He could dedicate all the proceeds from one particular rally or one day to go to the January 6th defendants, and he hasn't done that either. So yeah, I think he has abandoned his base. He's abandoned the people that were there to protect and protect his other supporters. So yes, I do feel bad about it.
Well, that.
So are they Antifa agitators, or are they his supporters that he abandoned even though they were there for him? I'm sorry, I'm continuing to Google all these weird health supplements and just pulling up, National Advertising Division recommends that Nature's Boost discontinue health claims concerning the ability of its blood boost formula dietary supplements to cure diabetes. as well as claims that the product is all natural.
This
Yeah,
guy, go ahead.
January, he was a little press conference on January 6th down in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. And if he had, our chapter from Florida was going to be outside with signs calling on him to support these detainees to come to their defense. At least to help raise money. That's what he should do.
Well, I'm just gonna get right to one of the points here I wanted to make, Stuart. And as I said, I've known you for 6 or 7 years now, and I think I had you on my broadcast about 6 months ago, and I asked you the same thing. But I'm just gonna have you state it now here publicly once again for people that are tuning in new to this network. There's been some accusations. Of course, there was an article that came out that claims that you are a federal informant or you are somehow working for the feds, paid or
Man,
unpaid.
his background and that fucking vitamin drink in the ad are making me so thirsty. It just came back from a horrible long drive down an icy, foggy road and a lineup of evening traffic.
Directly on this broadcast, I'm just going to ask you: is any of that information true? Do you deny that, Stuart? And please expand.
If he were a federal informant, would he have to say yes?
They tried to recruit Special Forces veteran Oathkeeper Jeremy Brown in October of last year, 2020. He had a couple agents try to recruit him, and he put that out. He put the video out of his interview with him, put the audio out. So they were trying to recruit him to spy on Oathkeepers back in October of 2020. If I'm a friggin' Fed, if the head of Oathkeepers was all along, that's what the allegation is. The head of Oathkeepers, I've always been a Fed, that Oathkeepers is some kind of a Fed operation. If that were true, then why are they running around recruiting people and paying people to come spy on us? Jeremy Brown, a stand-up guy, told him to go pound sand, but they still tried to recruit him. In October of 2020, right before the election. Why would they do that if they already had the top guy of Oathkeepers on the fence? It's ridiculous. I have stuck my neck out.
One possibility is that large sections of Oathkeepers no longer follow Stewart's orders because he's so fucking difficult to work with and such an asshole that they've broken off and become autonomous splinter organizations. And that Stewart is inept at management and doesn't understand what's going on at the lower ranks of his own organization most of the time.
And basically sacrificed myself, my own success, to do Oathkeepers. I was a Yale graduate, a Yale Law School graduate. I could be a wealthy lawyer if I'd have chosen that path.
We were living off apple chips and our power is about to get cut off, you lying fat son of a bitch.
So it's just absurd and disgusting to have people...
You're absurd and disgusting. We were about to get evicted. We were a month behind on our rent when he founded Oathkeepers. Like, the accounts were in the negative. We had no food. We'd been living off oatmeal for months. Well, he didn't lose any weight. Dead fucking broke. And founding Oathkeepers was like a last Hail Mary pass because he's so goddamn lazy that he can't make a living writing legal briefs. This man had unlimited, absolutely unlimited $40 an hour work ghostwriting legal briefs, as much as he wanted to take on, and then intermittently other jobs ranging up to $200 an hour. And we lived in absolute poverty. We would have been better off if he'd been working in a fast food drive-thru financially.
Tell people to go, unlike Ray Epps, I didn't tell people to go in the building. All I was doing was there for security operations while we were there, and I was focused on trying to get my people back to where I was the whole friggin' day. And once we got them all together and back together, we left. So that's what happened that day. I wasn't encouraging anyone to go inside, and I certainly didn't go inside. But because the feds
that's a lot of lies.
for over a decade,
That's a lot of lies.
But I don't do illegal activities.
That's many falsehoods.
I know where the lines are, and it drives them crazy. So they're actively.
That's a lot of falsehoods.
They've got the DOJ running around, sending the FBI out to.
Oh, excuse me, I paused his face. Wouldn't want to do that.
Questioning all of our members across the country, even guys that didn't go to D.C., about me and about their relationship with me, and the focus is on trying to build a case against myself and other Oathkeepers to bring us all in jail. But some people aren't satisfied unless we're all in jail. But even if we were all in jail, they'd still say we were feds because there's a personal animus going on with Pete Santilli. That's where all this got started, and I know that's all his work. All the stuff that's in the revolver piece that talks about Bundy Ranch is all Pete Santilli. So he went to Darren Beatty, and the two of them decided to make me the bad guy.
Pete
And I think
Santilli.
Darren Beatty probably got led down a primrose path by Pete Santilli, and now he just doesn't want to admit he's been snookered. So he's holding on to it. Yes, that must be true, even though all the evidence is exactly the opposite. So why am I being subpoenaed? Why would the January 6th committee subpoena me? Why would the FBI come and seize my phone if I'm already working for them? It's ridiculous.
Well, you know,
Well, of course, there is my personal theory. You can find the whole article on look up Google. What was it? Oh, and that product scrolling at the bottom of the screen is a Shark Tank product, by the way. I don't want to know why Nick Fuentes is trending. Sorry, I'm trying to find this article where I talk about this exact subject in detail with an interviewer. Oh, I can't find it. But no, my take is that I think Stewart at one point was compromised and did inform on the on some people around him, in particular people he was staying with, who went down for weapons charges in cases that included confidential informants who helped shelter him while he was bumming around from couch to couch following the filing of the restraining order. Um, I think he was compromised, and he was absolutely desperate to get out from underneath the thumb of the FBI, which led to him gambling everything on January 6th.
Down. I've got 3 lawsuits now. One by members of Congress against Oath Keepers, along with President Trump and Proud Boys, by the D.C. Attorney General for D.C., and by some of the police officers for the D.C. Metro or the Capitol Police over there. They're suing Oath Keepers and Proud Boys and Trump, alleging we were all in this mass conspiracy. So why would they be doing that?
I should sue Stewart
for.
I should sue Oath Keepers for back wages. Oath Keepers still owes me $3,000 from when I technically worked for them as an email guy. It's like $3,000 that I never. I mean, Stewart always took my fucking money anyway, but like, this is like $3,000 of $3,500 of payroll that I am still owed by Oath Keepers that I never got. I should also sue Oath Keepers.
Get on Facebook or Twitter.
I'm gonna throw up buy me a coffee Ko-Fi link at the top of my link tree, and finally figure out how to monetize this Twitch at some point. And in the future, anybody who wants to tune in, who wants to fund my legal fund to sue Oath Keepers for my missing $3,500, please do that. Or more productive would be to donate to my mom's GoFundMe, because she actually has a case with real lawyers for divorcing Stuart and maybe trying to make sure that this fucking lunatic has less custody of my minor siblings. That would also be great. But after that, give me money, so I can sue Oath Keepers for my missing $3,500 from when I was John Green, the email man.
That's not how it would go. If it was a front operation run by the feds, that would be on every news channel every night with a massive platform, lots of money, major traction. It would be deplatformed and demonetized across the country.
Well, it would also be.
all I can do.
I mean, he's not wrong, but also it would be.
I don't know if I've reported this publicly before, but it's not like it's a big secret. I've known Stuart Rhodes, as I said, for a long time.
If they had a huge media campaign behind Oath Keepers, and like all the major networks were behind it, especially in their personal reality where they don't think Fox News is being run by intelligence agencies, but everyone else is, that would just look incredibly suspicious.
We went on several road trips together. Went out with him as his camera guy, helping, going with him to do, have when he has speaking engagements, and I've got a lot of the video that has done by Oath Keepers in a certain period of time was done by me. I can say here on this broadcast right now, never at any time that I've been involved with Stuart Rhodes have I known him to do anything that illegal. It looks like he's talking to any federal agents, and I've been on the road trips. We've been together for several days at a time. This is not just. That's just not my experience. So I haven't really
federal agents, undercover federal agents, who cannot maintain their cover through a several-day road trip are not going to get the job done.
I say that from personal, first-hand experience. So
that's what the provocateur does.
A deep cover agent who can't maintain his cover for a several-day road trip without blabbing to a camera guy in his passenger seat that he works for the FBI is not going to be able to get the job done. Okay, James White.
That provocateur would encourage people to do something illegal and get them to do it. And I don't. I never do, I never have, and never will. And so that's exactly why I'm not locked up with all the rest of the guys, because I believe are honorable reasons. They said they went in because they had heard someone had been shot. I didn't find out until after they had gone in. So
someone did get shot. Someone did get shot, as a matter of fact.
Well, I know, but that's my point. Is that they went in. One of our teams went in when they had heard someone had been shot. That turned out to be Ashley Babbitt, and I found out afterwards that that's why they went in. And I'm going to cooperate with their defense. I'll be testifying for the defense because that's what they were doing there. They were there for security, and the only reason they went in is because they heard someone had been shot, and so they had two medics with them. One was a trauma nurse, the other one was an EMT, and so they decided to go in to render medical aid, and that's why they went in the building.
Fucking 6 geared up Kyle Rittenhouses
I'm going to talk about
forging their way into the crowd in a stack formation.
People were federal informants. You see the January 6th case. You know, the 1990, people seem to forget the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. Apparently, that was done by the feds. They tried to set up Rashad Salam for that, and he actually got wise to him and started recording all of their conversations, and he had a dossier, his lawyer. Matter of fact, you heard about Rashad Salam until his lawyer came on and said, this is all the information we collected from monitoring the feds. You never heard about Rashad Salam after that because he had all the goods on the feds. They tried to train him. They built the bomb. They tried to have him set up. There's the most dangerous organization to proper law enforcement in this country is the Federal Bureau of Investigations. That's my view.
Yeah, the more they say that shit, the more I feel inclined to forgive the FBI for all the civil rights shit. Because if these guys hate the FBI, the current FBI, so much, it must not be that bad. Well, not forgive, and it's not my position to forgive the FBI for murdering Martin Luther King. I can't do that. But I'm more inclined to think well of them. The more these fucking dudes live in fear of them. Okay, that's it. That's it. What we made? We made 17 minutes into this video. I've had a lifetime of listening to Stuart talk, and this was hilarious and enlightening. But it's past my bedtime, past my normal streaming hours anyway. So, I did it. There was a live stream on the day it was supposed to happen. Hooray me. Go team. I must have been slumped over pretty hard if you couldn't see the band logo. I shall Blind Guardian in every possible occasion. Words not good. Dakota has had a very long day. Dakota has eaten too much pizza and is ready to fall asleep. And Dakota had a very, very long drive on a highway full of people with Texas license plates who don't know how to deal with an icy road. So, we are going to log off. We'll be back at the regular appointed time, 7 p.m. MST, this coming Wednesday. And hopefully I'll be talking about a verdict that I don't hate. In the case of Stewart Rhodes, and I've also, and during the time where I went in complete radio silence and didn't post anything for a while, I was doing a bunch of media stuff, so some of that is going to be coming out relatively soon in line with the verdict. So keep your eyes peeled for more me. Thank God for me. Alright, stay tuned. Next time, subscribe. I'm going to put it on the YouTube. I'm terminally online, so yell at me at Twitter. Goodbye!